What if the God of monotheism is the last survivor of an ancient war of gods? Here is El the Ancient, seated on his throne at the sources of the two rivers. Here is Baal the Thunderer, demanding the palace, wrenching kingship from Yam, god of the sea, and Mot, god of death. And here is Asherah, lady of the sea, mother of the gods.
The Ugaritic text, KTU 1.1-6, depicts a cosmic political scene. El is the father, but he is not the dominant one. Baal fights, triumphs, falls. The gods conspire, marry, die. This is not spiritual decay. This is a complete cognitive system.
This system worked for at least 1,000 years. But the sea would destroy everything. Around 1200 BCE, the Mediterranean catastrophe struck. Unknown peoples, called by the Egyptians the Sea Peoples, swept the coasts. Ugarit was burned. Byblos was looted. Alalak disappeared. Canaanite cities that had flourished for 2,000 years turned into layers of ash. But the destruction was not only physical. It was cosmic.
Every Canaanite god promised protection. Baal stops the drought. Yam calms the sea. Asherah grants fertility. But the drought came. The sea invaded. Fertility died. Here we witness something rare in history, a collective failure of the gods. Not an individual failure, but a complete collapse of legitimacy.
Into this vacuum, a new god appeared. Or rather, an ancient god from the south.
Egyptian texts from the 14th century BCE mention the Shesu of YHW, nomads in the region of Edom and Midian who worshipped a god named Yahweh. And at Timnah, in southern Palestine, they discovered an Egyptian temple to the goddess Hathor. Inside it, a Bedouin tent. A god of copper. Yahweh as a warrior god, a furnace god, a tent god.
Yahweh did not come from Ugarit. He came from the desert. A god who does not plant, does not sail, does not fertilize. A god of war, fire, and storm. And in a moment of cosmic collapse, he entered the Canaanite council. And he never left it. Archaeology says clearly, there was no conquest. No Joshua, no sword. The highlands of Judah were filled with new villages, but their inhabitants did not come from outside Canaan. They were Canaanites themselves. The same pottery. The same language. The same grinding stones. So who were the early Israelites?
The Merneptah stele, 1208 BCE, the earliest mention of the word Israel in history. An Egyptian text celebrating victory over the peoples of Canaan. But it does not say, the kingdom of Israel. It says, the people of Israel. They are not yet a state. They are a rebellious cultural group within Canaan.
This group carried out a bold cosmic operation. They did not reject the Canaanite gods all at once. Rather, they merged, then differentiated. Phase 1.
At the meeting place of the
Absorption. Yahweh devoured El. He took his titles. Shaddai, Almighty, Elyon, Most High, Father of Humanity. Early Hebrew texts place Yahweh on El's throne.
Deuteronomy 32 verses 8-9 in the Qumran version says, Elyon divided the nations, gave each people to a god, and Yahweh was a son of Elyon who took Israel. This is a striking text. Yahweh was not originally the one God. He was a minor god in El's great council.
Phase 2. Differentiation. After swallowing El's titles, Yahweh began swallowing Baal's attributes. Baal's thunder became Yahweh's voice. Baal's clouds became Yahweh's chariot. Baal's mountain, Saphan, became Yahweh's mountain, Zion. But most importantly, differentiation from the feminine. The Kuntillet Ajrud inscription, c. 800 BCE, says clearly, Yahweh of Samaria, and Yahweh of Teman, and his Asherah. Yahweh had a wife. Her name was Asherah, mother of the Canaanite gods. But the priests of Jerusalem in the 7th century BCE decided, this cannot continue.
Josiah's reform, 622 BCE, was not merely monotheism. It was sexual purification. Asherah was smashed. Her high places were demolished. The divine feminine was expelled from heaven. Monotheism became a father only. No mother.
Phase 3. Absolute monotheism, then came the greatest catastrophe. 586 BCE. Babylon destroyed Jerusalem, burned the temple, exiled the king.
If Yahweh is the one God, and his temple is in Jerusalem, and his king sits on David's throne, then how did Babylon's god Marduk win? Here, the impossible happened.
Instead of Yahweh dying as Baal died, the exilic priests reversed the logic. Yahweh was not defeated. Yahweh used Babylon as the rod of his anger. If a catastrophe happens, it is not because God is weak, it is because his people sinned. This innovation is the birth of ethical monotheism. His power no longer tests God, but by his righteousness.
When the Jews returned from Babylon, they were no longer as they had been. They brought with them one God, one law, and one history. And this history says, Canaan is an evil, idolatrous land. Its inhabitants must be exterminated. And Israel came from outside.
The problem is that stones do not lie. There is no evidence of a mass exodus from Egypt. No army of Joshua burned Canaanite cities. The cities that the Bible says Joshua burned, such as Jericho and Ai, either did not exist at that time or were abandoned. The legend has no material trace.
Joshua did not conquer Canaan with the sword. The text itself conquered memory. Canaan was not erased, it was renamed Israel. The Canaanite gods did not die, they became demons and idols.
You shall have no other gods before me.
This statement was not born in a vacuum. It is a declaration of war against Baal, Ashtoreth, Chemosh, Dagon. The one God is born by symbolically killing the other gods. Not because he is the only one who exists, but because he is the only one permitted to exist.
The Mesha stele of King Mesha of Moab says, Chemosh my God said to me, Go, seize Nebo from Israel. And I seized it. Chemosh defeats Yahweh. Here, Yahweh is a regional god, not cosmic. But in the Bible, the story is reversed, Yahweh defeats Chemosh. History is always written from atop the corpses of defeated gods.
The question is not, did the priests lie? The question is, what does any human do when they win? They write their story. If the Canaanites had won, they would have written that Yahweh was the subordinate and El was the chief. But they lost. And the losers have no history. They only have anthropology.
Baal died as an independent god. But his thunder dwells in Yahweh's voice, the Lord is a warrior, Yahweh is his name. Asherah died as a wife. But she returned as wisdom and Shekinah in Judaism, as Mary in Christianity, as Fatima in Shurism. El the Ancient died. But he lives in the images of Al-Rahman Al-Rahim, the most compassionate, the most merciful, Al-Ali Al-Qadir, the Most High, the Almighty. Monotheism did not abolish the gods. It gathered them into one mask. Then it placed the mask on the face of one God.
Baal cries out from above the clouds, the Lord sends his thunder, opens the storehouses of heaven.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
My God, why have you forsaken me?
الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
God is greatest. There is no God but God. My God,
لا
The
إله
Lord
why
our
have you
God,
forsaken
the
me?
Lord is one.
The same Mediterranean Sea. The same Canaanite mother tongue. 4 voices, 2 different gods. Or one God with 4 masks.
The truth is that stones do not speak. The Kuntillet Ajrud inscription could be evidence that Yahweh had a wife. Or it could be evidence that the Hebrews deviated from monotheism. The believer reads the evidence with the eye of faith. The atheist reads it with the eye of doubt. The question the artifact never answers: who is right?
Baal died as an independent god. But every god dies twice. Once when their statues are smashed. And once when they are forgotten. Baal was not forgotten. El was not forgotten. Asherah was not forgotten. They are still there, beneath new masks. In every hymn, in every prayer, in every amen. The question is not who killed the gods. The question is, which god do you hide beneath the mask you choose today? And the harder question: are you prepared for your God to die one day? As Baal and El and Asherah died? Perhaps the stones do not tell us who the true God is. But they tell us how humans tried to understand the sky across thousands of years. Every god dies twice. Once when their statues fall. And once when they are forgotten. But you didn't forget. You stayed until the end. If this video made you see history, mythology, or faith a little differently, hit like. It helps more people find these stories. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring how gods are born, how they die, and how they come back in different masks. And share this with someone who still thinks the past is simple. Because it never is. See you in the next one. Same sea. Different waves. This documentary explores ancient texts, archaeology, and the history of religious ideas. It does not aim to insult or deny anyone's faith. Understanding where ideas come from is not the same as destroying them. Please watch with curiosity, not fear. Thank you.